What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I've got a pretty great story for you today. It would appear that China has now banned feminists due to a drop in marriage as well as birth rates. Who could have... Wait, did I say that right? Who could have? No. Who could have foreseen this? I know you all are trying to teach me how to say could have and would have correctly, and I really applaud your efforts. I mean... You know, there is a lot of truth to the saying about an old dog learning new tricks. But I see you on Twitter correcting me. There's always one of you every time. And, you know, while some people might call you an annoying grammar jerk face, I don't. I think you're awesome. Anyway, China censors feminist group after drop in marriage and birth rate. Feminists who encourage women not to get married and have kids are having their groups disappear. The Chinese Communist Party has been heavily censoring social media posts by feminists. While the CCP is synonymous with internet censorship, in this case, the stakes are even higher as the country's 10-year census is nearing. What's more, the census is suspected to show a decline in birth rates for the fourth consecutive year. There's a lot of, both ideologies as well as countries view their strength in numbers. There are, and a lot of religions too, to be totally honest with you. And here in the West, the more financially stable people are, the fewer kids they're having. The more successful they are, the fewer kids they're having. This is like reverse Darwinism or something. It is not good. I say this as a 38-year-old man with no kids. Like, I want kids. I finally feel like I'm at a place in my life where I can be a good dad and give the proper attention. But I understand people that get really late in life without having any kids. And then they just say, like, well, I'm already 42. Like, do I really want to do this now? The whole idea of, so I'm clear, ladies out there, I have 3% female viewers, so shout out to my lady viewers. I think that a woman should do whatever makes her happy, okay? I prefer having my wife at home. I would never tell her she can't work. I've only recently experienced this because she was laid off due to COOF-related slowness, and she just kind of stayed home. We tightened the belt a little bit. She's helping me out with my day job. And, as long as we can afford it, we've never been happier. Now, some women want to work, and that's totally cool too. She didn't like it. She's much happier now. I suppose you might be scoffing and saying, who wouldn't be happy being here in my home with me all day long? But, some people like to work, like I do. I don't think I'll ever not work. But modern feminism, actually really second wave feminism, really pushed to a lot of women. Like, you got to have a career. You can have it all. You have, get women CEOs. Yeah. And there are some women CEOs, and maybe they're really happy. But a lot of women also got shamed for wanting to be a housewife. I should say a homemaker. This was looked down upon widely, and for no reason whatsoever. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a homemaker, male or female, right? Maybe the guy stays home. This is a extraordinarily important job. It fortifies our civilization. Having both parents in the home to spend time with kids means you're highly likely to give your kids a better shot than kids that spend the day with the babysitter. So somewhere along the line, maybe in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, it became a bad thing to be a homemaker. And some studies will show you that women have never been less happy, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, in recent days, more than a dozen accounts used by feminists were deleted from Weibo social media platform, as well as cultural discussion site Douban, wrote the Wall Street Journal. Weibo and Douban are the prominent social media platforms in the country. Weibo is more or less referred to as Chinese Twitter, as it's also a microblogging platform built exclusively for Chinese netizens. Both the social media platforms are subjected to heavy surveillance and censorship by the CCP. Here's a tweet. Chinese radical feminists just suffered a devastating blow. On April 12th, hey, that's my birthday. Happy birthday. The Chinese government disbanded all radical feminist groups in Douban and popular social networking website and the only discussion forums that Chinese feminists could find. Those are the only ones that they could find. Douban, a social media site used by the Chinese urban youth, closed more than 10 feminist groups and banned the keyword 6B4T, a feminist view from South Korea that advocates women not getting married and having no children. Obviously, marriage is something, be happy. You don't have, I mean, to me, getting married is almost become an outdated thing these days. As long as you're happy, everybody's different. To some people, that means getting married. To some people, that means having a bunch of kids. To some people, that means having no kids. Whatever, different strokes. A user on Weibo, a user wrote on Weibo about the declining birth rates and censorship, stating, "What are they afraid of? Are they afraid of more women waking up? Are they panicking when seeing the fertility rates and marriage rates? While a 10-year census was to be out April 1st, it hasn't been released yet. Like, we could trust those numbers anyway." China's National Statistics Bureau spokesperson said the agency was taking longer to release the census as there was more data to process than ever. A women's activist group, whose account on Weibo was suspended, said women who look after their household by taking the role of a housewife are often treated as unpaid labor. Well, I guess. Weibo, on the other hand, in recently released statements, said that it took down some accounts that were related to bad information. If the claims about the decline in birth rate do turn out to be true, it may be unsettling for the CCP. In recent years, the CCP has intensely promoted the nuclear family, asking people to get married and give birth to children quickly. Ironically, though, the CCP, under the rule of the party's founder, Mao Zedong, promoted the exact opposite. Mao encouraged young women to join the country's workforce and dissuaded them from having children or marrying. I'm surprised they don't want them to join the military. It's funny to me, just in general. Like, the whole idea of it is hilarious to me. It seems, look, living in the West, well, really living anywhere but, a few countries, it's really bizarre to me just putting my head in that space where, like, the government is telling me I should get married and have kids, or how many kids I should have, or what gender kids I can even have. It seems totally insane. Yet people that live under that rule will defend it fiercely. They deploy bots. If you ever want to have fun, start criticizing the CCP on Twitter, and you'll be flooded by bot accounts who are calling you all sorts of things and saying they're truly happy. I can't imagine being truly happy, having like a quota of children to have, or having to give up children because there's too many boys or not enough girls or whatever it is. To me, it's insane, but I do think it's hilarious. Here in the West, feminism, third wave feminism, quite honestly, has created a group of women that will be deeply unhappy. You can see most of this kind of third wave feminism, radical feminism has fallen out of favor. Notice there's really no more YouTube channels talking about it. Feminism isn't even like a hot topic on Twitter anymore. It's because a lot of these women got a little older. Now they're in their mid-20s and the clock is ticking, and they realize that, I spent 6 years getting a gender studies degree and I don't have a job and I'm living at home and I owe $450,000 in college debt. There are no jobs for me. Or, I said all these terrible I convinced myself that men were the worst, and now all my friends and my family are married and having kids, and I'm alone and sad. It's a very real reality for a lot of women that subscribe to this. It's the same thing. Like, look, I'm working hard to lose weight. I'm not going to act like I'm not fat. But at the same time, like, I know that that's not healthy. But there are a lot of women who buy into it's cool to be big. Well, it just makes it a lot more difficult to find a mate then. While some people are into it, you're going to have a smaller pool of people that are willing to accept somebody who's 200 pounds overweight with purple hair. You know, there's a lot of just really terrible habits that third wave feminism taught those that worshiped at that altar, that will lead them down a path of extraordinary unhappiness. I am almost positive that most of these women have moved on. You don't see the same people talking about it. Most of these people are now in their 30s. And again, looking at their friends and family who are happy, realizing that maybe men weren't the worst thing ever in the first place. But hey, I'm all for you feminists in China. Get at it. Good luck to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.